So for an introduction to the dry techniques, the first and most important thing that you need to do is you need to sharpen your tools. So if you're going to work with dry point, engraving, any of those kinds of things, you need to make sure your tools are prepared and that they're good and sharp. So the best and easiest way to just sharpen up your stuff is just to take this sharpening stone that we have. There's a rough side on this side, which is a little bit more like coarse sandpaper. And then when there's a smooth side here, which is a little bit more like smooth sandpaper. We want to go ahead and just take our tool and grind it down. And the best way to tell if your tool is sort of sharp or not sharp, if it's dull, is just to take your tool and just bounce it off of your fingernail. And if it glances off like this one's doing, see how it's kind of just bouncing off of there and it's not actually sticking in and holding, then you know that your tool isn't particularly sharp. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and just put a little bit of oil like that on the sharpening stone. And then just grind this back and forth, real, with a little bit of force on it, and spin your tool. Just kind of spin it in your fingers so that you're getting all the sides. If you only grind one side down, you're only going to end up sort of flattening out one side of the tool, and that usually leads to tools that aren't as sharp as you want them to be. So we just kind of want to keep doing it this way for a while until we get to the point where we think we have a nice sharp point. Good tip on there, and these tools are steel, so that means that they're going to take a while to sharpen up. And you can kind of see that now when I put it in there, it's sticking a little bit more, but it's still not exactly as sharp as it could be. So over here I have a pre-sharpened one that I can show you that that'll just stick in. So these, just see how it doesn't glance off, it just sort of sticks right into the fingernail. That's how you know that your tool is good and sharp. And when you go to gouge your plate with this now, you're going to be able to like really kind of tear up that copper and leave that nice burr that we're looking for on there. Sometimes you need to sharpen up your triangular scraper as well if the edges get all nicked up or if it needs to be sharpened up. And so to do that, we do it much the same way. You can choose the rough side or the smooth side, whichever one you want. And you just want to hold it flat so that the tool is basically kind of the flat parts of it is against the stone, and then you just kind of rock it back and forth like this. And you just want to kind of keep it flat and sharpen it slowly as you go, and you want to flip it over and kind of try and keep it going smoothly. And the same principle works if you're going to work on sharpening up like your relief carving tools or anything like that. But I kind of like to do the same thing where I just put it into my fingernail. And if it sticks and kind of like tears up a little bit of the fingernail, then you know that it's good and sharp. So the same thing with the relief tools. If you're going to sharpen up an engraver like this one, there's actually a little jig that you're supposed to use, but you basically just sharpen it kind of like this, so that the flat part is being sharpened at all times. And you just kind of grind off some of that steel surface, and then you can check it by putting it in your fingernail. This one's nice and sharp. When it pokes in there, it definitely sticks. So that is exactly what you want when you sharpen your tools. Remember, always use the 3-in-1 oil, and always use the sharpening stone, and put everything back when you're done.